Legend. Legendary moments will be captured. So stand up, scream, and make sure the boys feel you.
And the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys? Yeah!
What is going on, Cowboy Nation? Welcome back to Primetime Studios. Like always, I'm your host, Primetime Phil, and happy, I guess, pre-Christmas Eve. But anyways, one thing that's for sure is Gametime Bryan is here by my side. Happy pre-Christmas Eve, Bryan.
Ho, ho, ho. How is everybody doing this evening? I'm good. I feel good. I'm doing wonderful. How you doing, Phil?
Doing well, man. Just working, bringing my Christmas overlay. I'm glad you kind of reminded me last week, just so I can be like, oh, yeah, that's right. Let me focus on trying to get some overlays on that.
I know. I feel guilty when I say that to Phil because I know what it entails, or I have an idea, I should say. And I know he's busy at work, and it's like, don't forget, and he's like, I think he's like an artist. He likes to wait. And he wants to feel it right before the broadcast, like soon before the broadcast. He wants to have it come to him. So it looks great. I like what I'm seeing here. So
nice. Thank you.
As always, man. Cheers.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I got my water right now. My girl's out doing some Christmas shopping for grocery things. And I got the Buffalo.
What's up, Bobby
Bills
Murphy?
game.
What's up, Glimmer Man? Stacy, Roland Reviews is in the house.
Hey,
What's going
Stacy, how's it going?
Brad Harris, Mike Aldana.
So,
what is going on, everybody? So what are we feeling? How are we feeling, Phil?
The last game that we had against the Buffalo Bills, of course, kind of puts a sour taste in your mouth. If this was Santa, for example, he would be eating his cookies with the sour milk. Because it's just one of those, man. It's just one of those. Glimmer Man, how's it going? Says Phil, you don't need to work. Make snowflakes, bitches.
EJB, what up?
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. This is one of the my Christmas overlays. Of course, I got one for the Miami Cowboys matchup that we will be talking about. But the end of the NFL year, as we talk, we have this Christmas kind of episode. That's what it represents to me. I see that the 3 games left on the schedule. Man, it's down the home stretch, right?
Yeah, it's flying by. It's one of those bittersweet because we're all anticipating what's about to happen, but we're also anticipating it being over.
Mm-hmm.
At least I am. So it's like I'm excited, but let's face it. It's been a long time since we've had sustained success in the playoffs. So it's a little bit of trepidation, but I am looking forward to it. This game tomorrow scares the crap out of me. Good thing is we're already in the playoffs. Miami's fighting for their playoff lives. That's the part I was trying to tell Mark a little while ago. Miami is literally fighting just to get into the playoffs, believe it or not. With their schedule remaining, they can't. They play the Ravens.
Yeah, I mean they're right now they're ahead. They're ahead a game or two amongst most of the people. But you slip one up, yeah, you're right, man. It can easily be a downward dive, and then by the time you're knocked out of the playoffs. Right now, I think they're sitting on that second seed. But still, man, just like that. I mean, the Buffalo is not. If Buffalo wins this one, they're right behind them by a game. So they need to win that as well. So I mean, they're definitely pushing for the positioning, just like we are. Home field for them, very high potent offense. So I mean, we'll definitely dive deeper into this. Turn it on.
But yeah,
turn it on, dude.
Glimmerman says if Finns are not in yet, then we are going to see play action all day. We will stuff the run, but to open up for big plays. Glimmerman, I just mean looking at the 3 remaining games, and I could look it up. Let's see here.
The boys.
Obviously, they play us this week, right? And then next week, week 17, the Dolphins play. Let's see.
Not one of them Buffalo?
No, next week Miami plays at the Ravens. So think
That's a
about it.
big one.
Home against the Cowboys, at the Ravens,
And then at the Bills.
and then at the Bills.
See? Yep. That's why they need
So
that one. They need
now I'm
these.
telling you, they are staring no playoffs in the face. So that's all. I'm not trying to make people scared or whatever. Yeah. It's going to be a very impressive win if we could go in there and win. Brad likes them 35-28. We'll get to all that a little later, but yeah, it's not an easy game, especially Phil, not having most likely both of our all-pro Yellow
Tackles?
Jacket Hall of Famers. Zach Martin may not play, and Tyron Smith won't play. So, this is what we look at. I mean, and we don't have that. We trying to make the playoffs in the back of our mind, Phil. We are in the playoffs. So, you know what I mean? So that's kind of like, who's more desperate? I was telling Mark's a crowd that if I just want to score 35 to like 38 points. If we could do that, I'll be happy with the outcome. If we can't score 20 points again, then I'm highly concerned. And they play a similar defense to the Buffalo Bills. So be interesting to see how it all plays out, and we'll be here for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think, who they we haven't had to worry about this problem before, not for a while with Tyron Smith being out. Idoga is the guy they seem to want to try to put there all the time. So we'll see if that's kind of the early matchup. The nice thing is Miami doesn't have as many in the sense of the great pass rushing edges, but they still got a really tough defensive line and a really tough defense in general. Like Bryan says, I mean, definitely similar to what Buffalo likes to run in the sense of bringing four, dropping a lot of people, so they're gonna really test you. And right now with that line, the line was pretty healthy last week, and they were giving up some stuff. So it was like an all around. Of course, Cowboys lost the run game, couldn't get stopped on the defensive side of the ball. So that's a whole thing, especially when you're running against a very high powered offense like you are. But going into this week, I mean, I like what I hear from the Cowboys. I mean, they're talking right in the sense of what they had to endure last week and what they have to do this week. It sounds like they're on the right page. It's just my question is, can they back it up?
Yeah, I'm getting to the chat. Yeah, Brad Harris, he's out, man. I mean, he's doubtful. He ain't playing. They're worried about.
Yeah, they already said that he's out.
There's no way in hell he's playing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just assuming he's out.
And Zach Martin, they said it's questionable, but yeah, I don't know about that.
He's questionable, and I'm hearing it's not looking good. They're going to be cautious with him since they're already in the playoffs. This is where we go into the more desperate team, and I'm not trying to bring people down. I'm not picking the Dolphins, FYI. I'm not, but and I come to that because of McCarthy's. Hasn't lost back-to-back weeks. I just feel like this team's going to prove something, but we'll see. I mean, they have to do it. Miami doesn't scare me nearly as much as Buffalo as far as where they play, the crowd, all the extra stuff, not on-field stuff, the other stuff. Buffalo is a horrendous place to play football. Mm-hmm. The crowd is on top of you. The stadium is sunken like 30 yards into the ground. So when you walk in, they are on top of you. It's like a friggin' coliseum. They want blood, and they were nuts from the beginning to the end. Now,
it was just a more physical team.
Got embarrassed.
Yeah, it was a more physical team. Yeah. You could tell. It was just right off the bat, whether it was offense, whether it was defense, it was just physical football. And Dallas was not up to the matchup at that point. So I think that's what's really been their weakness, is that physical game. When their matchup is being extremely physical, they just don't have that punch back. I mean, they're a physical team. Don't get me wrong, man. Cowboys are. It's just those days when somebody's really beating up on you, and it's just they don't seem to have that answer.
Yeah.
When they get down and they need to come back. So it's interesting. It sucks. I mean, because it's obviously a problem that we've seen in this team, and it's something that can just rear its ugly head at any single point. And so remember that running game, first game without Hankins. I mean, that's one thing you say about Dan Quinn, is that I'm curious to see what they do there, because again, Dan Quinn has done this before where all of a sudden the offense didn't look as great in the secondary because Trayvon Diggs is out of the secondary. And then, that next following week they were giving up a little bit more yardage. So that's where the question mark came in. And then, you're hoping that with Hankins being out that first week, of course, doesn't look like they know how to stop the run. Hopefully they can patch that up. It's just been a problem. It's just gone beyond Dan Quinn. I mean, this is something where Rod Marinelli, he had problems with this. I mean, we just have a problem with filling in our gaps and staying, disciplined, really. When I see the tape, it's just really where a lot of people are just out of position. If you're a zone runner, like if you're a running back that's a zone runner, man, you're going to have a field day with this defense because they were not tackling last week.
Yeah, not at all. Glimmerman says we are looking ahead and Finns are looking at now. We will see Ramsey on Lamb, move him around. Dak can't miss Cooks again. I don't think
we're in a position to look past anybody.
Yeah, I don't know that Ramsey is going to travel with Lamb. That would, everybody's worried about Ramsey. I mean, he loves these matchups. It's not a great matchup for us, but I think we're going to score points. That's the bottom line. And I think our defense is going to step up. I think we're going to knock Tua around. I know they get rid of the ball quick, but I think our defense is really going to step up. I don't see Dan Quinn's defense. Come on now. Between McCarthy not losing 2 in a row and Dan Quinn, that's where I'm leaning. I'm leaning towards that. And that Dak Prescott knows what's on the line. You lost last week. And we got lucky with the Eagles, which I called. It was, I was surprised they lost to a backup. I thought they would lose to Geno Smith, but regardless, we can't expect that again. I need a win here.
Yeah, I don't see them. I don't see them losing to the Giants this time around. Maybe the second time, but not this time.
Yeah, Glimmerman. The Bills did play dirty, but they
played playoff football, and you're gonna get dirty plays. You're gonna get old, and that was playoff football, and you just got outmaneuvered just bad, and just you did it. I think Glimmerman really points this out, and I'll point a couple things out and add to it. But he points out the fact that we fought back and made mistakes. Missed Cooks, didn't challenge the fumble, missed the block punt. Those are little spots there. Then you got to add on the fact that D-Log gets that third down where they throw it into the back of the end zone. That should have been 3 points. There's a lot of things that added up that were just stupid football. And honestly, there was a lot more there where the Cowboys should have been flagged on, some face masks, some stuff like that. So it's just they did get away with quite a bit, but they was just very undisciplined football. Just out muscled. And if they face another 4 times, I don't think that's happening again. But these are how these games go. I mean, it's either you're blowing them out, they're blowing you out. It's a challenge back and forth. The other one wins, your win is a tie. That's the in between. In some of these games, Buffalo. Which Buffalo team was going to show up? You think it's going to be the same Buffalo team that's going to show up tonight? I don't know, man. It's just
right.
That's what I'm saying.
I'll tell you one thing. Ultra Cowboy says Eagles are in turmoil. This is a game that Giants will beat the Eagles. If we lose to Miami and Giants lose to the Eagles, if Giants beat the Eagles, then we're still in position to win the division and get the number 2 seed because all we would have to do is win our next 2 games.
Which then are doable.
I would be annoyed. At that point because, we need to start being the aggressor now.
Yeah, we need to be able to put away
says
shit.
We weren't going to go and win 10 in a row. So, whatever, fine. Now we need to win. So, can we do it? Yeah. What's up, Vinny Hagan? How you doing? Mark Holmes is in the house. What's up, Mark? I can't believe Wes is driving all 3 hours, dude. The reason why you're at the Red Brick House, Mark, is to bring good mojo. Now all these guys are coming down. I'm just telling you. If they lose, Wes is banned. That's all I'm saying. And please, Wes, make sure you wear the proper size jersey. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, Brad, I am a realist. I have seen Dak play on the road versus good teams, Ultra Cowboy. Yeah, he played in the playoffs and had a perfect a quarterback rating on the road in the first game last year. But let me guess, Tampa wasn't a good team, even though they won their division. They weren't a good team, were they?
No, not at all. Not with Tom Brady or anything. Nope.
I'm just telling you, Mark.
Don't
we
do
need
West
good
like
luck.
Yeah, so a lot of things are iffy going into it. I mean, Miami has their moments where they look really, really amazingly powerful towards other teams. And then other times they just look very vulnerable. I think when their offensive linemen were out going into this matchup, there was like 3 of them that were kind of struggling. It looks like those 3 are going to be playing. So I mean, they basically got a pretty full because even their guys that were questionable are that's all it was just questionable stuff. So ours, of course, we have people that are out. Jonathan Hankins, Tyrone Smith are the out guys. Zach Martin, Malik Hooker are the questionable guys. Hopefully you don't have
Malik's
6 guys.
Play, by the way.
That's
Malik's
also
gonna play.
you're not going to have the 6 secondary that's that's playing as well.
This game's on Dak Prescott because, like you said they're gonna play. They're 2 safeties deep. They are, they're going to challenge at times and play up in the face with Ramsey. Now that Ramsey's back, and they're going to play some zone at times. This is up to Dak Prescott. Everybody wants to anoint MVP, and he's doing it. All right, we need a. I'm not saying you have to win the game. I'm saying you need to put up 35 to 38 points.
Yes.
If we lose that game, then you could look at Dan Quinn and say you didn't get the job done. I need my team with my all-pro quarterback, my all-pro wide receiver. I need to get Pollard involved. I need, like you said, Brandon Cooks needs to get involved. I mean, I need a Jake Ferguson. You working the seams. I need Dak to have a huge game. If he can't do it in back-to-back weeks, then I can't keep defending him. Last week we'll throw out. I need to see some serious points scored tomorrow. That's it. That's your task. If our defense shits the bed, then we could blame the defense. But if you can't score in the 30s, then I can't help you, bro.
Sorry,
Brad,
I'm trying to find it. Is the game on
I'm
Peacock?
saying, but he's got to score in the 30s, Brad. He has to. So
Yeah,
what
man,
do you think about that?
I agree, man. This I just don't looking at how the Bills attacked us and everything, and it wasn't what Miami's going to do. Miami's really good at getting that short pass, and that's one thing I've seen against this defense is that teams have been able to do those short stuff against them, and that's what Miami does best. I mean, it's going to be hard to keep the ball out of Tyreek Hill's hands unless, of course, he gets injured or something. But I mean, to me, it's going to be hard to stop them, and it's not like they've been playing. I mean, to me, this is the most potent offense they're going to play all season. As much as San Francisco was a good, fundamental, powerful offense, this one's this one can score out of anywhere. You're on the 8-yard line, you think you got them backed up, and then all of a sudden they score a 90-yard touchdown. So I mean, it's this type of team. Right. So I think you definitely need to score, man. If you come out hot, then that's going to be great. But if you don't and you're sluggish on either side of the ball, it's not good, man. It's not going to be good for this team. I mean, you're going to hope that Miami just messes up and does what Miami has struggled, and they've gotten in their own way at times. If you can get Tua off his first read, I think that will help you as well. But again, man, it's if the first read is there, they're going to take it, and it's going to be a long day. So I'm just hoping that our defense can answer the call, really.
Yeah, well, Vinny Hagan says we don't score on the road. Vinny, let me point out to you. Week 1, 40-0. I mean, look, we did score some touchdowns there. That was on the road. Week 3, we lost to the Cardinals, 28-16. Okay, I got you. Niners, we scored 10. You're right there. Chargers, we only scored 20. We won. Eagles, we scored 23 in a loss. Carolina, we scored 33. Buffalo 10. Yeah, so, I mean, we're in a situation where we need to score some points on the road. So, I need 35 points. 34 I would say 34 wins it. So, can you score me 34 points? Now, I see Ultra says 42-14 Fins. That's not happening, bro. We're not scoring 14 points tomorrow. Bet the house on that. We're scoring at least 24 points. But that's not going to win. When you want to win the game, you need to get in the 30s. But listen, everybody's entitled to their opinion. So, the Glimmer Man says we need to get to Tua. Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. We need to get to Tua early. Parsons needs to get through. Well, I think we need to rely on everybody. I need Parsons to do Parsons, but I need everybody else. That's where we're successful, when Osa does his job. When you haven't heard much of Dorrance Armstrong this year. We need Dorrance to step up. We need Dante Fowler to get some reps. We need some of these other guys to step up as far as pressure. D-Law, obviously. So
I need this front office to step up and sign Sue. That's what I need,
Well, did he sign with Miami or no?
No, he just visited.
I don't think so, right?
And, when I look at, everybody's kind of just moving to the side, and that kind of just neglected what Carl Davis was doing for us at all, and some of those defensive tackles. So I wasn't really impressed. So I'm eager to see their second game and how they can come back. But they were just non-existent in my part. And then obviously the offense of just looking at the offense versus the defensive line for the Buffalo Bills. I mean, they were rushing basically 4 people, and you couldn't keep them off of Dak. So, I mean, man, I don't know, man. It's just that right there. That's the kind of stuff where they have a bad game, then all of a sudden they can come back and they can play very, very strong. You talked about McCarthy coming back after, of course, a loss. Not very often does he come back and lose 2 in a row.
No.
But, so there's a lot of stuff that something's got to give. It's kind of one of those things, like what Cowboys team is going to show up? Is it going to be the disciplined one that actually doesn't cause penalties and stuff? That's one thing that's been constantly shooting ourselves in the foot is the penalties, man. The penalties are getting us behind in the chains. They're neglecting some big plays. It's just bad timing on some of these penalties. And I think that really right there sums it up. It's very bad timing on a lot of these penalties.
Yeah, and I'm not really looking forward to this officiating crew. You got Sean Hockley, he's
Mr. I like to be on TV.
His dad was, Ed Hockley with the big, with the guns,
Muscles,
whatever, bro. But our success with him, he likes to be a part of the game instead of just officiating. But it is what it is. I'm interested to see what happens. You know what I thought was funny, Phil? Listening to Tony Pollard say he's just now starting to feel healthy. Isn't that interesting?
Does that make sense?
We all thought
that he was doing really well. I just thought they were utilizing him terribly. I mean, he's running him up the middle, and it was just there was nothing that the guard and center were doing that was causing anything to open up. Once they threw the ball some, of course, that's when the running game was able to open up. We see this offense. You throw it to set up the run. This is how it has to be. And so in the beginning, when they were just running up the middle twice on the first and second down and then throwing on third, it was pretty obvious what they were doing. It's just, I don't know, you weren't utilizing your guys correctly. And so now you're seeing, of course, Tony off the side. And we all know, man, it takes about 1.5 years before you even come back. And so what? It's probably been a year now? Because this would have been the time where he probably heard it. Was it in the playoffs he heard it? I think it was in the playoffs, right?
He heard it, yeah.
Yeah, so it would have been here in the next month. It would have been a year. So, it's usually 1.5 years. So think about the next following year, if he can stay healthy, how he will be then. He'll definitely be a lot better. That's what I worry about with guys like Overshown.
Niners fan.
I'm very happy with the with Overshown, but I get scared a little bit just in the sense that how explosive is he going to be coming back after that injury after the first year, So and then you saw was it Arizona? Somebody said that they were changing their field. They're going to change their field to see if they can help with the injury.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was just recently too.
Yeah. Well, Arizona's field sucks. It always gets chewed up. That's the field that they slide outside.
I think that's the one that they
whatever. I
said
don't
they
know
were
what
going to
you're
change.
Yeah. Yeah. Lord no. Glimmerman saw Lepke once, got 3 yards. He looked good. Give him more. He looked like a hammer. Here's the deal, Glimmerman. I think we need to go back to what I was saying prior. We need to pass the ball to set up the run. Now, listen, if the run is working, fine, but I don't want to get into a situation where we're running on first down all the time
Yeah, I
because
don't want
then
to be
that sets up
predictable.
second.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't care what we do. It just needs to be effective. You get paid the big bucks, Mike. You were doing great all year.
What's up,
You
JoJo?
ran into a roadblock. I'm not going to say that we're going to lose 2 in a row. We haven't done it yet. We're not a team who's lost 3 in a row like the Philadelphia Eagles. They are, and then they have 3 like cake games that I don't know. I don't know that they're going to win all 3 games.
I don't see them winning all 3 of them, but I definitely think they can win a majority of them. So
yeah,
at least 2 out of 3, but
yeah. But I don't want to help them out. I want to win my game. You have to win. That's the thing. That's the one good thing. Hey, JoJo, how are you? Hello and good evening, everyone. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to all. Lord Nova, what up, my man? Ultra, can you be positive at all? At all? Can you just be a little positive? Can you be positive, my man? I need some positivity from you. Ultra, be positive. Be positive. I need you to be positive, bro. Let's go. Anyway.
Yeah, we can talk about the NFL. We can talk about more about the matchup. I'm not really sure how to dive into it. I mean, we know it's just, is our team going to be our team? Is it going to be the team that can move the ball down the field? We're not worrying about, catching, running from behind. We're just trying to run our game. Is it going to be that type of offense that's going to show up? Or is it going to be the one that's on the road just kind of hey, hopefully the defense keeps it close and, we'll get into it by the second half. So I'm interested to see both sides, man. How are we sluggish on offense, man? Because, majority of the time, that's how it's been. That first drive hasn't been great. The first drive for a good stretch there, though.
Well, that's a good question. Yeah, that's a good place because you're a proponent, all right? I just real quick, I want to revisit last week. Dallas won the toss and elected to defer. Now, it did help with the penalty, don't get me wrong, and then they literally let him go down the field and score a touchdown. So, I asked this question again. What's up, Matt Batten? How are you, buddy? Thanks for us shooting on over. What do you do tomorrow? We win the toss. What are you doing? Are you playing defense or are you putting your offense on the field?
I'll probably put my offense on the field.
That's a tough question.
Yeah.
You're putting your offense on the field?
Yeah, because the odds of them scoring are very, very high. I like the first drive.
Yeah. I'm with you. Normally, I would say no. I want to play defense, get that double, get it at the end of the half and get it at the third quarter. I just think it's important that we get on top and we get some. I just think it's important that we get our offense on the field and go. That's what I think. So I agree with you there. Take the ball first. And, that first drive usually doesn't indicate the game, but if it's a successful first drive, that definitely helps. I mean, there's been many games where we don't do nothing, we go 3 and out, and we still win the game. So that's the only thing that has me thinking, well, do we play defense? We'll know right away what our defense is doing, but I still think go offense. Go offense and try and put some pressure on them. Matt Batten, I hung out with Mark Holmes, wanted to talk to Gametime. Bryan is a good guy. Thanks, Matt. Well, this is my partner in crime, Primetime Phil. He's the one that got me into YouTube. So, me and him started, I guess it's a little over a year now. Ago, yeah. So, on this channel.
Funny how that works, man.
But we're doing well, man. We're doing well. It's been a busy holiday for both of us. But, we're like we were talking about, we're we're coming up to the end of the season, and we still don't know about our Cowboys. That's what's interesting about this game. I'm glad we're playing a good team. I'm glad we're on the road because that's what most likely we're going to be on in the playoffs.
Yep.
I mean, what are you going to show?
Yep.
So I'm looking forward to this game tomorrow.
Yep.
Again, I could take a lot. I mean, I could take an L if we're scoring in the 30s. If we only score 17 to 24 points, then that's not good. That's not good. So Miami isn't going to win any defensive. They're good, but they're not that good. Yeah. Not against our offense. So you want to break down some of these?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do
these, the rest of the games. I know we've both been busy. We don't have too much to talk about as far as the Cowboys, but well, excuse me. All right, let's start out with it here. We got games going on.
Obviously, you got the Buffalo Chargers game. Who do you think's going to end up pulling
Bills
this
and
out?
Chargers are on there now. I'm not watching it.
Yeah, you got to go Bills. You got to think
Peacock?
Bills. But Bills is not going to do it pretty. It's going to be just an ugly victory. It's going to be like, oh, what happened? Just thank you very much, JoJo. I appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, thanks to Bryan for reminding me because I was like last week. I was like, ooh, that's right. I need to make some overlays for Christmas.
I know. I like it. I mean, it's like a 3D. Oof. I'm surprised I'm wearing a T-shirt. It's kind of chilly.
You feel it.
Yeah, so. But anyway.
Snows,
baby. All right, here we go. Minnesota Vikings hosting the Detroit Lions. Minnesota this is actually going to be a good game. They're both fighting, I'd like to see Minnesota win, but Minnesota +3 at home. That's basically, I mean, obviously Detroit's, favored by like 6 points. Normally the home team is a 3-point deal. So Minnesota +3 at home against Detroit. What do you think there, Phil?
Man, anytime I start to give Detroit any kind of credit, they tend to like kind of fold on me. I think that might be the same thing for the fans. They start to feel, oh man, this team can really do something. They look very balanced. They got a quarterback that can throw it. Doesn't do amazing. He's not going to just blow teams away. But he has the ability all of a sudden to whip one out of there. The running game, they got a great running back duo that's back there. They got some good wide receivers. Just not a class of wide receivers, but one or two that they got. They got a good tight end in Laporta. So I give their offense a lot of credit. Their defense, it's iffy. It has its times where it's really dominant, and other times it's not so much. But it's been an improvement since last year, where they were just giving up all these points. But most of the time I want to give them credit, and so this time I'm going to do it again. I got to go Detroit on this one to be able to go out there and actually, I want to say they're going to win at least by double digits.
Yeah. Okay, so you like Detroit by double digits. I
understand. Yeah, it's one of those things. It could go the other way as well.
That's a tough one, man. That's a tough one. I don't know who's starting quarterback for Minnesota. I think Detroit has been struggling a bit, but I would say I'll give me the Lions. I think Detroit wins that game. I think they shatter Minnesota's dreams. So yeah, I'm with you. Give me the Lions. I can't take Minnesota. I can't. Next game, we got Tennessee Titans hosting the Seattle Seahawks. Tennessee's getting 3.5. Will Levis is hurt. He's not playing. They're going back to Ryan Tannehill. Ooh. So Bo Callahan will not be playing for the Tennessee Titans against the surging Seattle Seahawks.
This is the one. These are the type that I can see Seattle slipping away and not winning, even though they're the better team. To me, Seattle's the better team here. Their record kind of shows it, but I think Tannehill's going to give them a little spark, and I see them winning. So I'm going to go Tennessee on this weird matchup.
Tennessee, all right. I'll go Seattle.
Yeah, I mean, that's understandable.
I think Seattle needs. Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one, but I just give me Seattle. I think they need their playoff bound.
They need it. They need it, definitely.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean they win it.
Next game, Houston. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, I was just messing.
Yeah, next game, Houston Texans +2.5, like, hosting the Cleveland Browns.
Cleveland's just winning, man, isn't it? Like they surprisingly winning. Houston, surprisingly, they lose some games. I mean, is their rookie quarterback back yet? Is he still out? Is that
Yeah, right.
I'm not even sure what's going on there.
He's out. He's out. He's out.
I'm gonna go Cleveland on this matchup. I think somehow they pull out a victory. They've been very surprising.
East side, you're going down, buddy. Sorry, you're going down. So yeah, I'm with you. Give me Houston. All right, next game, Atlanta Falcons -3, hosting the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are getting 3 points.
I'm gonna go Colts on this one. They just, to me, they seem to have more of a spark. Atlanta just kind of like deflates when they can. I mean, this is the type of game right here. This is the type of game that Atlanta does win. They do win these tougher games where they have the tougher matchup. They lose the ones that they're against the losing teams. So I could easily see Atlanta winning this game, especially at home. But I'm still going to go with the Colts.
Yeah, I think Atlanta. I think Atlanta really blew it last week. I think the Colts go in and get the W. I'll take the points, but I think the Colts have better coaching, and I think the Colts.
Dude, Buffalo just coughed. I think Buffalo just coughed it up.
Did they? Yeah, I'm not watching it.
They punted it. The Chargers punted it away, and the guy went to go. I'm pretty sure they fumbled it right there.
Put on Peacock.
So Buffalo is losing to the Chargers 3-0, and they're about to end the first quarter.
An app. Hit the home button.
Let's see. Yep, that ball comes out before he hits the ground.
It's on Peacock, right, Phil?
Peacock. Yep. That's where I watch.
Hope I don't.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I hope we're logged in. Yeah, she's loading it up now. All right, let's get to the next game, people. New York Jets.
The New
York Jets hosting the the left hand up Washington Commanders. The Commanders are getting 3 points. Talk about a shit game.
Yeah, I'm like, between the two, Jets are maybe a better
Jets
team.
Can still make the playoff. Oh no, they can't.
Jets are a better team, I guess. Washington's quarterback plays better. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna go Jets.
Chargers.
I'm gonna go with the Jets.
All right.
I don't feel comfortable with it, but I'm gonna go.
Well,
Jets.
I don't think who's quarterbacking the Jets. Do we even know?
Is it Zach Wilson? He still wants to?
No, he's out.
Is he out?
He's concussed. So I don't know. Give me dude. Just give me Washington. Ron Rivera, brings his guys out. I hear that.
If I was I hope Washington wins. Let's be real.
I don't know.
I don't want them to have as good of a draft pick, so I want them to of course, win and move up a little bit.
All right, move on to the next game. Another crap game. Carolina Panthers at home +4 against Green Bay. Again,
you would think Green Bay. You think Green Bay is supposed to run away with this? Carolina, I could see giving them a tough game, but I can't see Green Bay not winning this contest. So I got to go Green Bay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you. The Carolinas.
It's just too bad of a team. It's just too.
Yeah, and it's a shame because they don't have a pick.
Yeah,
they traded their pick.
Everything.
So they keep losing, and Chicago's
just like cha-ching,
get another quarterback that they don't know how to coach. All right. We finally have a decent game. Well, we had a couple decent games early on. I actually do think Detroit, Minnesota is decent, and Seattle, Tennessee is decent. Everything else has been dreck. Tampa Bay hosting Jacksonville. Tampa Bay is a 1-point underdog.
Yeah, I would go Jacksonville as the better team. Better quarterback, overall, I think a better team. That doesn't mean Tampa Bay can't win this. They win these ugly games sometimes. They're sneaking their way into the playoffs. But I got to go Jacksonville as just the better team.
Yeah, I'm going to go the other way. I'm going to go with the surging Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Bucks. Give me the Buccaneers. Uh, the quarterback for Jacksonville has just cleared concussion protocol. He's one sneeze away from being out. Give me Tampa. They're rolling right now. They're rolling. They smell the division. They're
I'm
home.
saying. Yep.
Give me the Bucks. I don't know. Yeah, Jacksonville
I don't
has
blame
really
you.
disappointed me a little.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. They come up
It
and
could
down,
go
up
either
and
way.
down.
I get
Yeah.
it. On paper, you go, Jacksonville, but they haven't done squat lately. I keep taking them, and they keep breaking my heart, so I ain't taking them again. All right, we'll skip over the Dallas game, and we'll go right to another ugly game, people. This is another horrendous.
Well, the fact that this
game,
is Sunday
but we're gonna
night,
talk about
this Sunday night game is even more just a
Oh,
slap
God.
in the
Chicago
face.
Bears at 4:25 at home against the
my
Arizona Cardinals.
I was thinking you were
And
going to
Arizona's getting 4. But it's a horrible game.
Yeah, I just
4
think
on the road.
Chicago is a better team. Their offense is better. Their
Yeah.
defense is better. Chicago, to me, is a better team. That doesn't mean Arizona can't win this game.
Oof.
But I got to go
First down.
Chicago, man. Chicago.
Yeah, I'm going to go Chicago. I think Arizona shoots their wad next week against the Birds.
Chicago.
A revenge game for the head coach, the old defensive coordinator for the Eagles. So I think Chicago wins this one. I don't know that they cover, though. But
That was close to a touchdown. I thought that was going to be a touchdown.
Yeah, that was
I
close.
was like, he's getting open.
Give me the Bears.
The Bears.
All right, and now we get to the Sunday night ugly game.
Wah, wah, wah.
Denver Broncos -8 against New England.
Man, Denver again is just
Well,
to
just-
me
yeah.
better
Touchdown.
football and
Shtick.
better team. So I mean that doesn't mean they can't disappoint. But Denver's been playing better football. So I got to go with Denver at home Sunday night football. Yeah, I just think
give me
I think they
Denver.
they got to bring it.
So, just real quick before we move on, what do you
Touchdown,
think
Chargers.
about all the BS? Yes. What do you think about all the BS that Belichick to the Cowboys? Are you hearing that? I've heard.
No, I've heard
It's all over
Belichick
place.
to Washington. That's what I've heard.
Washington, but
Yeah.
this week Ian Rappaport.
I've heard the
came out and
deflated
said-
balls. I've heard about that. They're
Yeah, he
deflating
said
balls
that
again.
Dallas would love to have Belichick if their
Oh,
season doesn't end in a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
So I don't
say
want
yes.
Bill Belichick.
I would say yes.
Not. At this
I love
point.
I love
You
how
would-
he manages the front office area. You know, that's what I do like. But
Are they really going to allow him to cut up a Dallas hoodie? I don't know if they would allow that.
they probably
He would
just,
have to
they probably
cut up
market
the,
it. They would market it and sell it online.
Yeah,
Really.
you know what? That's a good call. They would probably market it. You're right. You're right.
You know, where
But
they-
anyway, all right. Moving on. Monday football. We got
Monday at 1
Monday.
o'clock. 1 o'clock game.
we got 3 Monday games.
Yep.
Monday
Christmas
at 1
games.
o'clock. Kansas City Chiefs -10.5 against the Las Vegas. Las Vegas.
And
Raiders.
here's the thing, like where in past I would have picked Kansas City easily without a doubt. Raiders are playing some really good football. Their defense, Crosby, that's the dude that just cannot be stopped, man. You need to you got to figure out where, what he's driving in the morning, put some sugar in his gas tank or something. You can't let him get to the stadium, man. That guy's a ridiculous guy. I would think that the Raiders are going to give Kansas City definitely a test because Raiders, again, they're playing really good underneath Coach Pierce, Antonio Pierce, right? But I still got to go Kansas City on. I think they're just a better team. But, man, I wouldn't be surprised if the Raiders pulled this one out.
Give me the Chiefs at home. I just think they
team.
need to win this game. They need to, I
Shut
just
some
think they're
people up,
going to
yeah.
win somehow, some way. But I agree with you. If you're telling me who's playing better, it's the Raiders.
Raiders.
I would take the Raiders and the points. That's for sure. So if we're going with the point spread, give me the 10.5 with the Raiders. I think the Chiefs find a way to win a close one on the last drive. Right.
Yeah.
There you go,
Exactly,
Matt.
Matt. Exactly.
Exactly right. Matt, if you're not subscribed to this channel, make sure you do, my man. I haven't seen you here before, so please sub up. I like what you're doing here. Next game, we got Bobby Murphy's Philadelphia Eagles minus. The line keeps going up, Phil. Minus 13.5 against the New York Giants.
Yeah, I believe it too. Eagles will definitely at least have fool's gold. Be able to win they'll win convincingly, and it'll give everybody, whether they'll forget about the woes or whatever. It'll at least give some false gold to give them, oh yeah, we got it, we're the rest, because that's how it is. It kind of reminds me of teenagers, where when things are going good, we're never going to lose, man, we're never going to lose, and then when they lose, we're like, oh man, just trade everybody, let's get rid of everybody, it was trash, so it's so extreme, and so you're going to have these ups and downs, but these are winnable games, and I still think that Philadelphia is the better team against a New York Giants team. Now, don't get me wrong, New York is in a roll right now, and winning these games they should not even be in. I don't know if it's about their quarterback, but it's just they're not making those mistakes, and they're grinding out, and they're actually winning some of these games. I got to go Philly on this one. I don't think it's going to be close.
Yeah, I think Philly blows them out. Mm-hmm. And listen, as a Cowboy fan, I'm not worried about it. I hope that the Niners slip up. I hope the Eagles win, because I'm not afraid of the Eagles in the end. I'd rather play as Philly than San Fran, but I think they win this game. I think it still might be a close game. I think, buddy.
They again, with the division, how they're playing.
I think it's a blowout.
They could keep it a close game. If it's not a blowout,
Phil, if it's not a blowout, then I would be very concerned, because the world has been coming to an end in Philly. There's been a lot of crap that's being said from media.
You are correct,
from
Murphy.
Fans. They demand Hurts to win or be gone. It's not happening. Not with his contract. You go on and on about.
Well, no, remember this last year? I was so happy with the play of Danny Dimes and Jalen Hurts, because I was like, I want them to sign them to long-term deals, because I knew what type of quarterbacks they were. It's just like, yeah, you're going to have to run them to the, that's how his game is. You have to run with him. And you know how it's going to end up happening after a couple of years. We all seen so many quarterbacks. Yeah. The best quarterbacks do that. I mean, and their bodies wear, especially if you're having to run 20 times in a game. It's not like he kind of slides most of the time. He's putting his head down and kind of trying to get more yardage as well. So, yeah, it's interesting, especially with the Danny Dimes. People were talking about, do they let him go? Man, they're not letting him go, man. They're sucked into that contract for a while.
Yeah. Well, now they're questioning Jalen's leadership. This is how,
unfortunately, you might be right, Bobby.
Carson Wentz went south. If you remember correctly, Carson Wentz had an MVP. If he didn't get hurt the year that they won a Super Bowl, and Bobby, they still win the Super Bowl with Carson Wentz if he doesn't get hurt. In my opinion. He got hurt, and all of a sudden, the momentum it was like a snowball. It just got bigger and bigger with Nick Foles. And then they go on and they win they win it all. Carson Wentz was done at that point. For a young player, it was just, the organization didn't really have, I can't say that, because they did give him a chance, but that was it for Carson. You're doing the same thing with Hurts with a lot worse of a contract, in my opinion, because the meat of his salary hasn't even begun to hit the salary cap yet. You know what I mean?
Not for a year.
It's all coming down the road.
Yeah.
Oh, and you might Matt Batten says Giants by 3.
Can I? Okay, so is there? Did Slade just sign a contract with the Eagles? Was there a big contract? I don't know the
details of it, but he did. Oh, I think it was like a 2-year deal, or I think it was a 3-year, but they can get out of it after next year.
Yeah, so 3-year they can deal through
Bradbury signed a deal. I know that.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, but I don't know the guarantee and if they could get rid of it.
See, to me, the Slay one
Bobby
was a
Murphy
very
says
smart move by
last
them.
month Hurts
Where
was MVP talk and called a great leader. Now all of a sudden,
well, that's what I'm
he
saying.
sucks.
I think a lot of the media
Yeah.
stuff, they get so sucked in. That's what we're talking about when we talk about these guys. It's just, to me, they used to play football. So to me, you should be able to look at a talent, see how they play within an offense or within just being able to eyeball them on the field and be able to kind of judge these guys a little bit better. I mean,
Yeah.
to me, when you look at Hurts and I kind of put Tua in that same category because they were products of being around people in college as well that were very successful in their programs. So they looked good as well. So at what point did he not have a team around him when the team has to rely on these particular positions or particular guys? Do they stand up? Can they make the read? Can they stand in the pocket? That was always the question. And when I was looking at quarterbacks, like, I'm not saying Dak has that thing. He has his weakness. He has that guy usually in the zone that he doesn't see often to his right here. There's usually that guy. They'll drop down back in coverage, whether it's a defensive lineman. Each guy has their thing, but his poise in the pocket is definitely something that you don't see in a whole lot of quarterbacks. But that doesn't make him obviously top 5 or top 3 or anything like that. To me, like his play, the way they was using his legs, the way he was commanding the offense, that's what put him above everybody else.
Yeah.
Your talent can only take you so far, but you need to do the studying on tape.
It's a bad look, right, Phil? It's a bad look. We said in order for Jalen to be successful, he's going to have to use his feet. That's what makes him special. Not that he's not a good quarterback, but what separates him is his feet.
His feet.
Now, him getting banged up last year and have to play from the pocket helped his game. But now that you lose, Siamalu, is that who left? The left tackle, I think, left. I think he left last year. Like, whoever they lost last year. Now, you see that he had a lot of time early in the year. He doesn't have as much of that time right now. If he doesn't have time to just sit back, what teams are doing against Jalen Hurts is playing coverage. They're making him read the field. You sit down. Because if you notice, there's a lot of times he ends up rolling out and throwing the ball out of bounds because, I don't know. He's always looking for the home run, and they're always keeping his safeties deep on him. He needs to be able to. This is that sophomore year. Well, let's face it. Last year was his first real year of starting. He did play a few games the previous year, but he's starting to see how defenses are going to play him. And like I said, he's going to have to run the ball. And what happened last week with the flu or whatever the heck he had, they ran his ass off. And it should have been enough to win, but it wasn't against a backup quarterback.
Yeah.
That's alarming.
Yeah, and so
that's alarming.
And as I continue that with Tua, like I've seen him more now. I see him actually read defenses. So I have to give. I kind of took him out of that category of where I had Hurts in him. Just okay, well you're just a product of what's been around you. But no, Tua's definitely. Don't get me wrong. He definitely has some amazing weapons around him. So it's kind of hard not to judge it as well too. So I guess we'll see further down in his career if he's able to do it with less. So that's going to be interesting. But I just tend to see that he can read a little bit more in the defenses. Not afraid to just stand in the pocket a little bit longer. I guess that's the biggest thing. I mean, Hurts, he's really good at running out of that pocket. But if he can somehow run out of that pocket and keep his eyes downfield instead of passing the line of scrimmage, I think it's something that he can implement that into the offseason. That would be a very, very huge thing for them. And they need to invest in that. So So anyways,
Merry Christmas, Ruben Walls.
So let's go on to the next game.
Christmas,
We got a Monday Night Football game.
Next
Ruben
game
Walls.
here would be the Philadelphia. Oh, we already talked about that. San Francisco 49ers -6. This is probably the best game of the week, obviously, against the Baltimore Ravens. Niners
This
at
is
home.
gonna be a good game. This is gonna be a good game.
-6.
I just think San Francisco is just a better team. I just think they're that doesn't mean Baltimore can't win it and San Francisco can't struggle with running quarterbacks. I think that's another poison. But if you have a big bruising running back, you can take on San Francisco. You have an offensive line that can push forward. You can handle San Francisco. You just need to be able to continuously try to hit them. You know, it's kind of like you see those kung fu guys where they hitting that board, pa 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 pa, and eventually it's going to break. And that's kind of what San Francisco has. And if you have a nice bruiser there, yeah, I mean, you got a running quarterback. You just need somebody that can kind of pick up that when he's not the one running and stuff. But I just think San Francisco is a better team. If you're going back and forth, I just think San Francisco's defense is going to get you at some point, and they'll stop you at least a drive or two to get their offense the advantage. So I got to go San Francisco on this.
Yeah, a lot of people in the chat are saying this is a Super Bowl.
I that's what I was picking earlier in the year as well. I was picking this, but I was picking Miami possibly too. So
very well could be. Yeah, I don't know if you guys get caught up in the NFL puts out these Super Bowl thumbnails using different colors. They just changed it.
Yeah,
Dallas versus Buffalo colors. So yeah, I know you saw that, right? I still think, as of now, if I had to pick, I would go Ravens Niners. It's hard not to do that, but Ravens have suffered a lot of injuries. But
true.
I have to. My honest opinion on this game is I think the Ravens might have something for the 49ers. The 49ers are banged up on defense. The Ravens are walking around their locker room. They're like really upset that nobody is giving them a chance. Nice, Gabe Davis touchdown. I didn't start him in fantasy, but that's okay. Touchdown Bills. Yeah, I'm a little bit ahead of you probably, but yeah. Yeah, I like the Ravens to win a close game. I think a field goal game in the end. I think they shocked the world and beat the Niners. I think this is the year, Phil, where everything is going to be on the table going into the last week of the season. Meaning, we're going to have to go to Washington. We're going to be waiting to see what happens between the Rams and the 49ers. And we're going to be waiting to see what happens to the Eagles at MetLife at New York Giants.
Yeah,
I think they lose the game tomorrow.
That would be big.
The game tomorrow.
That would be big.
And it tightens everything up. Everything up. That's why this game is big for us. Or they are Monday. That's why we got to win tomorrow. Because that could be a Merry Christmas Philadelphia moment. If we win against Miami, the Eagles, I think they're going to beat the Giants, but that's okay. But I think that the 49ers lose to the Ravens. That's just my honest opinion.
Nice.
I think they're beat up on defense. And I think the Ravens can limit them a little bit on offense. I think they're a physical team. I don't think that Brock Purdy's going to like the physicalness of that defense. And let's roll, man. I'm definitely very – I was thinking I can't stream it. I'll be over for my sister's. So I can't stream it. But yeah,
I got to do some errands around that time.
Yeah, Monday night. I might be able to do something during the Eagles game. Nah, I won't be able to do that either. Sorry, guys. Nothing for me on Monday. Though I have obligations, family obligations. But 49ers getting the 1 seed, says Bobby Murphy.
Yeah.
Ravens by 4. Yeah, I agree, Matt Bratton. I like the Ravens, man. I do.
All right, so let's switch it up to the game of ours of the week. Of course, Dallas Cowboys versus the Miami Dolphins. Definitely, both teams going in there. I think the coaching, to me, McDaniels have been doing some amazing stuff in Miami. I love the camaraderie that he has going with the team. Again, I've said this. You get one little kink in their armor, like just gets weakened, and that's like a Tyreek Hill. That's like an offensive lineman. Two of those kind of guys. All of a sudden, the Dolphins can kind of just go off track. They have something to prove, man. They're talking also against the Miami Dolphins how, hey, Dolphins haven't beaten anybody when they actually have to play them. They don't really play very well, and they don't have this amazing, great home record, and they don't want to give the fact that maybe the offense did change a little bit when San Francisco when McDaniels left, and that Miami team has been very, very exciting. Very smart idea to go and trade for Tyreek Hill. that'd be a hell of a weapon, man, to have on an offense. I don't care. I don't care what team you are. So Dallas, man, I have to look at it. Will Dallas come out and be flat, or will Dallas come out and kind of ready to go head to head? Because this is going to be a possible shootout between these teams, and they're going to be fighting for positioning. I think both of them are in the same type of where you're ahead, yes, but that doesn't mean anything. You lose a game, all of a sudden you give it other people positioning. You could lose another one later on. There's so many things that can happen, and so many ways that it can benefit us. Dallas does there's so many question marks, I think, after Buffalo's crazy game last week where you just didn't show up. Nobody on offense, nobody on defense, special teams, so the coaching staff was definitely not involved. I'm interested to see how they come out, man. This team, again, they've had this thing where they don't come out, they don't lose 2 in a row. McCarthy comes out after a loss and definitely always ramps it up. Dan Quinn as well. So I'm interested to see how the team plays. I'm hoping that they're going to shut me up because this is not going to go well for me on my score. I don't think Dallas does it. I think they struggle. I think they don't do it in the beginning, first 2 or 3 drives. I think Miami all of a sudden gets out on a high score. It's 17-0 by the time you know it, and Dallas has to play catch-up. But I think Dallas can start to catch up. But by the time they do catch up, Miami starts to blow away again and maybe score a little bit at the end to kind of rub it in our face. And I think it's going to end up being 41-24 Miami.
Man, that's a Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I don't see this defense slowing down Miami.
Yeah.
That's it, man. I have to put it in the same category as San Francisco until they can actually to stop this speed. I mean, there's so much speed on Miami's team. I just can't see everybody with the tackling that was happening last week, and if they continue that on, man, that's just how the type of game it's going to happen. Cowboys past has dictated that they just struggle in the opening up. 1 drive or 2 drives, maybe the 3rd drive, they finally get a score on the board. But I just don't see it
fans
being
love
pretty.
your pick.
Yeah, of course they do, man. Of course
Eagle
they do.
fans
I don't like
loving your pick,
but I like the Cowboys
loving
shutting me
your
up. So they've done that plenty of times.
Oh shit! Well, that's good. That's good because last week I went against my gut and listened to. Mark actually convinced me. He's like, this is a different Dallas team.
I know, Brad. I know, man.
And I got sucked in. Yeah, because I told you in both my before training camp and my after training camp, I had LL going into Buffalo. Mm-hmm. Definite. That was the one game on the schedule that was an L. And I got sucked in.
Thank you, Bobby.
Now, this is another one that you would think on the surface, oh my God, we're not going to have this, we're not going to have that. We're going to be all right, people. We're going to be all right. Dallas is a +1.5 point underdog on the road, just like I think there were 2.5 at Buffalo. Dallas has had good history going to Miami and playing. Tyreek Hill is healthy, but
I agree.
I see Dallas going in and scoring a lot of points. Now, I'm not going to lie to you. If they score in the 30s and lose, then we have to worry a little bit against the good teams that they know how to teams know how to play against our defense. Now, when we get Hankins back, it'll help. Yep. But, we can't just hold out for one player. It's pretty sad that only us, we lose one friggin' player. We lost Diggs all year. We were able to pretty much overcome that. We lose Hankins, and we can't stop the run. I think we'll be decent against the run tomorrow. We will give up points, but I think our offense is going to look dynamic. I have this is it, man. This is going to be it. Just real quick, I think it's going to be I think it's going to overtime. I think we win in overtime by a field goal. I think Aubrey kicks like a 57-yarder to win the game. I got a Cowboys 31, Dolphins 34. So give me the 1.5 and the over.
You got it the other way around.
49.5.
You got the Cowboys 34, Dolphins 31.
I'm sorry.
You said it
Cowboys 34, Dolphins 31. Is that what I said? All right. You know what I meant. Just look.
Yeah.
I can't walk and talk and chew gum at the same time. Or I can't walk and chew gum at the same time. Sorry, I'm still a little sick. But yeah, I like the Cowboys in a close game. I think Aubrey uh he wins it for us in overtime. I think it's a Christmas Eve special game. We'll remember this game for a while. So that's what I like, man. I love wood. A game time drinking too much. NyQuil. Joke, my God. I love you. Yeah, yeah, you're right. I need some NyQuil, actually. But that was my first pick score. Really, Matt? Yeah. 34-31. I like it. Overtime, Aubrey. So I think Dallas gets like an interception or fumble in overtime, and I think McCarthy is a little skittish on offense and is gonna settle for a long field goal, and we win. So
yeah, I don't even know about
the
that.
Score.
I don't even know about that, man. But yeah, that would be great. I mean, a lot of things point out that we do bounce back.
Phil was supposed to go to this game. I guess you're not going, are you?
No,
you're
not
like,
going to this game. Hell no, man. I'm not doing it.
Hell no.
But last time again, man, they said it in the chat, man. The last time that I picked against them, man, they definitely proved me wrong. So I'm interested to see, man, if you can hold a team like Miami down and score some points on them on the road in Miami. That's going to say a whole lot. It's going to say a lot to the NFL, especially backing it up after a game where you just kind of just blew it, man. It just did not look very good overall. So I'm interested to see how this team plays, how the coaching staff coaches, because, man, come on, let's be real. There was some very, very bad out of place, just people just not in the right gaps. I don't know. I don't know if I have to say that's the coaching, because if people aren't being in their gaps.
That's not going to happen 2 times in a row. Telling you it's not. It's not going to happen. It's not. They're going to have success. I'm giving up 31 points, so it's not like Miami's not going to score, but I think we're going to be more dynamic. Do you know who I think has a huge game for us tomorrow night? Tomorrow. I think Tony Pollard has a big game. I think Tony Pollard has a big game. I just have a feeling he's going to have 100 yards, and he hasn't had 100 yards in a while. If not all year. I think he has, or at least all-purpose yards. Let's put it that way. I think he's gonna be involved, and I think we need his speed in this game. Total yards, right? I'm with you, Weed. I'm with you, Glimmerman. I see us trying to bounce back against a team trying to get into the playoffs. Somebody gets their heart broke. That's why I said, Glimmerman, it's gonna go to overtime. I'm calling us to win. But if we lose in overtime, 34-31, again, that's a tough spot for us. So I'm very curious to see how we react.
So it's gonna be interesting to see how this game goes as well tonight.
And Die Hard is a Christmas movie. This is my Die Hard shirt. Now I got a machine gun.
Nice.
So.
Nice,
Die
very
Hard
postal.
Is a Christmas movie, people. Nakatomi.
So, Bryan, most likely be back, not probably on Christmas Day, so maybe on the day after Christmas. Probably be.
You plan on streaming the game tomorrow?
No. I have to run and get one of my kids at that time, so I would have to just basically log off in the middle of it, so it wouldn't work out.
No, that's fine. That's what I was asking. Yeah, I got to go out Christmas shopping and finish up in the morning. I'll be back at some point. I won't be on the 1 o'clock games, but I'm thinking about doing the 4 o'clock games. So we shall see. If you're not going to be on and the Loyal's out of town, we'll see. Maybe I'll reach out to Space Cowboy or something, but we'll figure it out. Matt Bratton, Elf is my favorite Christmas movie, then Die Hard. Phil, what's your favorite Christmas movie?
Man, I had to say Home Alone. I'm a big Home Alone fan.
Yeah.
So I love the 1 and 2.
Yeah, 1 and 2. Yeah, exactly. Phil don't want to watch that massacre. Bobby Murphy says.
Yeah, going live, man. No. Plus the
Mark
tickets,
Hudson,
man. By the time you start getting to the
Cowboys.
tickets, it's ridiculous, because you'll see them. You'll see the team, and then the next following week, all the prices drop because they're not playing the Cowboys. But the prices are of course up there as they're playing the Cowboys, so those are always the most expensive ones. Then you got to do parking,
Yeah.
you got to do gas, and you got to eat, and then by the time you know it, man, it's already way too much. Man.
Yep.
So anyway,
Yep,
so Brian, we'll be
Um,
back. Hopefully, we're not doing. Are you doing? You said you are doing a stream tomorrow then for the game.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay,
I think I'm
so
gonna
it's a
do the
toss in the
Cowboy
air.
game.
All right, so hopefully they're proving me wrong the next time that we talk on this show. I'm hoping that it's me taking my foot out of my mouth and how the Cowboys are proving me wrong. And but let's see how this goes, man. You feel confident going in there? I can see this game going in the way, and I just want to see what type of Cowboys team do we have against two back-to-back teams that are really good and fighting for playoff positioning, fighting for playoff lives. Yeah, I'm interested to see how they play them as well, because guess what, man? We should be playing desperate as well. So, anyways, I appreciate you coming through, Brian. Anything you want to say to anybody before we have to go?
No, I just want to. Well, I want to thank everybody who reached out and
Yeah, Merry
and send me your
pre-Christmas,
kind
right?
thoughts regarding my father-in-law. That's all going to happen in the new year. People flying in and all that stuff. So, plus they're backed up. It's a lot of people seem to pass away around the holidays. It's kind of weird, but yeah. So thank you everybody who reached out, and yeah, I'm gonna try and stream. Just look out for it. I'm not gonna guarantee it, but I'm gonna try and stream the Cowboy game.
All right, sounds good, man.
That's
well,
my
one thing that I
right?
hope that you don't forget and open up a present to is to never do what? Forget to do what?
Ring that bell.
Damn
that bell?
right. Yeah, exactly. That was exactly it.
Hey, we know each other. He's a friend from work.
What you do, you're like a little screw loose type of guy, and I thought that's how I am. So I'm digging it, big guy. I am.
Who are you? You. No, not me, you. Yes, I am you. Just answer the damn questions. Who are you?
Gametime Bryan, otherwise known as the mailman here,
Cool name. Superpowers?
broadcasting from the illustrious Jobu Studio.
Come on, are you gonna tell me who that is?
Primetime Phil, and of course my co-host, Gametime Brian.
Oh, Jesus Christ, this place is going to explode. $100,000. I don't even need to hear it.